I think the best part for me is all the customer stories. We had Genentech, we had Kimberly-Clark, we have just amazing customers building tons of apps on the platform. So it's just exciting to be a part of that.
It is, and I always like to approach the platform discussion as sort of a level setting to say, what is it when we talk about the platform? We talk about Salesforce being around for 13 years and what we've done, and realistically, people don't realize we've always been a platform company. We built out a CRM object 13 years ago, and then since then we've grown and developed and proven our own business on that platform. And then now, today, how would you define it?
So a lot of people know of Salesforce as an app for Salesforce automation. That's our namesake product. It's what most people use us for, a place to keep track of all their customer data, accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities. We then expanded that into customer service and support so you can manage cases and have a knowledge base and do those types of things. But underpinning all of that is the platform. And you can use the platform for 3 different things. One is to customize and extend our apps. So if you want to customize the Sales Cloud or the Service Cloud, you get down in there and you create a custom object, or you relabel a tab, or you relabel a field, or you create a custom workflow rule. That's all using the underlying platform technology.
And you don't have to be a programmer to do that. That's just literally click and edit, and you're good to go.
It's all easy point and click.
Yeah.
The second thing people use our platform for is to build custom apps that might have nothing to do with our sales and service app. It might be an HR app, a finance app, a manufacturing app. And that's where people just create the data layer, they create some business logic, they create a UI, and it integrates with all the core customer data inside of Salesforce, but it extends that data into other application areas. And again, many of those apps can be built by people who have no programming background, point and click, drag and drop. If you want to do something really complicated, you can drop down into code and do some lower level manipulation of the data or business logic types of rules. But for the most part, it's point and click, drag and drop development. The third thing that people use the platform for is to run third-party applications on top of. So we have this thing called the App Exchange, and it's a marketplace with, I think there's 17 or 1,800 third-party applications. Small businesses and big ones who are building applications on top of our platform, who then resell them to their customers or resell them into the Salesforce customer base. So it could be companies like BMC has an application called RemedyForce. It's a help desk app that's built on top of Force.com. They will resell that into other customers. We have hundreds or actually now thousands of these third-party apps and a giant ecosystem who are out there building these apps and selling them commercially on top of the platform.
Yeah, and I always enjoy talking to customers to understand where they've gone with the platform, where they've gone with Force.com, and it's so often they'll begin in the App Exchange because they've got very similar problems that other customers had last year, 3 years ago, 4 years ago when the App Exchange started to get rolling, and we had partners like DocuSign, like other partners out there who created the solutions that then they apply. DocuSign is something we use internally, and we're really happy with how it goes, and we share those stories because we want our customers to be as successful. Now, what was your favorite thing during the platform keynote today? There's so many things that are announced. Touch was huge. Being able to go mobile, native on HTML5 or both. I think it satisfies so many different opinions there. But what was something that you felt really was like the aha?
The amazing thing is our platform has grown over the years. It used to be Force.com. Then we brought Heroku into the mix. We've launched Site.com. We've launched Database.com. We've launched a huge slew of services around the platform products to build different types of apps. So now you can build apps in Java. You can build mobile apps that connect to these back-end platform apps. So that's amazing in itself, and there's a large surface area to that story that everyone's trying to get their heads around. Here at the show, we made a couple big announcements. One is around Touch. So now Touch is part of the platform. You can build mobile apps that then integrate with our platform on the back end. So you could build a custom inventory management app for your company. People can access it on their iPhone or Android device, and it's connecting up into the cloud where it's accessing all of that data and being integrated with the rest of their customer data inside of Salesforce. Super interesting, and really hoping to unleash just a new level of innovation in that space because it's so hard to do those things today. The other big one was identity, and where we're leveraging a slew of open standards to allow you to sign into Salesforce, and then for that identity to be passed on to dozens or hundreds of other applications inside of your company so that you don't have to log into each and every one of them individually. You just log in once, and then you have access to all these different apps, whether they're running on Salesforce or not.
Yeah, and you can continue to develop out and share that as well. As Chatter applies to everything as well. I mean, you leverage a lot of the tools that are available to you today within that environment to help you develop that before you couldn't really do as easily. You couldn't really socialize your ideas, your thought process, your creativity amongst the group.
Definitely. You know, one thing I'd like to touch on is all these products, all these announcements, it can be hard to know where to even start with these things. And so I'd like to give a couple tips on how to get going with the platform if this kind of thing is interesting to you. First thing everyone should know is that we have a website dedicated to developers called developer.force.com. It's all technical articles, it's sample code, it's tips and tricks, it's workbooks, it's webinars, it's all kinds of stuff that developers would want to know about, not CRM and CRM admin and sales managers, and you know, that's a different and very important community, but the developers need their own community. And so developer.force.com is an incredibly important resource for everybody to know of. The second thing is I'd highly recommend signing up for a free developer edition account. Anyone can do it. It's free. It lasts forever. It's not a trial. It's a Force.com developer edition for your personal use. It doesn't need to be bought by your company. Anyone can sign up for it. Just go to developer.force.com. At that point, you have access to all of our products, all of our APIs, and all the information you need to start building apps. Now, even though Force.com is pretty easy to build apps on, it's still a bit bewildering. You know, again, the surface area is huge. So I personally would recommend searching on that website for the Force.com workbook. And the Force.com workbook is amazing. It's one of the first things I did when I signed up as an employee of Salesforce. And it just walks you through step by step, click by click, how to build a custom inventory management application. And it shows you, and I'm not a computer programmer, it's not my background, it shows you, click on this, type this here, you know, drag and drop this thing over there, and you literally set up the data layer, you set up all the different workflow rules, you set up all the different forms and fields, and literally by the end of it, you have a functioning inventory management application that could technically be rolled out to 100,000 employees the next day. That, only when you experience that for the first time can you really feel the power of the platform. I can't pick up .NET or WebSphere or JBoss as a non-PhD in computer science and even dream of building that app, and then to deploy it out to a lot of users, then you need, you know, a production environment, you need clusters, you need load balancing, you need caching. It's unbelievably complicated. None of that. You don't even have to know of or even think about those things. You just push deploy, you could dole out 100,000 logins, and people could start using that app the next day, and it would work. That's the power of the platform.
Yeah, and you mentioned communities. I mean, we saw 800,000 developers mentioned today that are already developing on the app. And you mentioned, you know, you can go to the developer site and see all the information that we as Salesforce push out. But beyond that, there's also the community, and there's also the partner community that, I mean, I do a search on YouTube, and it's amazing how many, whether it be a partner or an individual out there that just sort of has an idea about how they're doing and what they want to share on Salesforce, what's available to you. So it breaks the mold as far as like learning a language or learning how to do something. It really leverages the perspective, the ideas, the creativity of the entire world, or the entire like Salesforce like community, I guess, for lack of another word, to, you know, help you learn, help you go from walking to jogging to running to being fully, you know, up and running as a business, doing what you want to do.
Absolutely. We are aggressively recruiting developers into our ecosystem. If you are a developer and you want to build custom apps inside of your company, check out the platform and just kick the tires and see how that works for you. If you are an ISV, even if you're a single person with no funding whatsoever, sign up for a developer edition, prototype the app, and you will have a functioning prototype that you can use to either sell to your first customer or that you can show to a prospective investor, and you can get your own software business, your own application business off the ground with literally $0 invested up front. And so if that's interesting to you, check out our ISV and resources available and a program to build that app, get it on our app exchange, and that'll put it in front of thousands of customers who you can sell to.
Awesome. Well, Eric, thanks for coming in, joining us at the Plaza today. Everyone, thank you again for joining the show. Go check out the developer site, check out the app exchange. We're really excited to see what else we're going to hear while at Dreamforce this week. But we're going to actually go down to the Plaza to one of the partner interviews.